Okay, so let's talk about marriage for a minute. So, dating, that's where it starts, right? As I mentioned in a different video, we didn't have hangouts growing up like we used to in the 80s. So, meeting outside of school was difficult for some people. For me, when I wanted to date, I didn't find women that wanted to date, and that was the hard part. Um, and why was that? Well, it wasn't that they didn't want to date me. Because remember, I was very popular with girls. What it came down to was one, time. A lot of them didn't have the time because of activities and stuff and schoolwork. And they were devoted to their school too. So I didn't have the chance to date these girls. But it also came down to the girls I was into um, were the dangerous type and not ones that fit in with me. Um, if that makes sense. See, leather jacket, attitude, martial art background, always looking for a fight, always ready to throw down. I didn't have a problem with my confidence. I had a problem with finding the girl that fit my exciting lifestyle. And sadly, the goth chicks weren't really goth chicks, if you catch my drift. They were more pretenders than they were actual goth. So they liked the style and music. That was it, not the attitude. The attitude's what makes you attractive. But here's the point. Finding a hard rocker chick was difficult for me. I couldn't find one. Finding a nice, elegant chick, couldn't find one. I found one that worked for me, but we chose different paths in life. Nothing wrong with that, you know. She may come back, I may come to her. We'll see what happens. But overall, in my location where I have been, I couldn't find a woman that actually fit the bill, you know. And there weren't a lot of hangout spots for me to go to either. Granted, the locations I was living in weren't your ideal neighborhoods either. Not that anything bad happened, it's just it had potential. So um what you had to take into consideration was how different the times are. Not just style, but also the incredibly difficult issue of there's no place to hang out anymore. You know, coffee shops, they're not hangouts because they want you to buy something to be there. And it's not like the movies make it out to be, where it's going to be romantic. A nice setting where you walk in, a girl's reading a book that, hey, you've read or you're into, and you strike up a conversation. It doesn't work that way. So, it's difficult these days for dating, and then you throw in marriage. So, why do you get married? Well, I'll tell you why a man gets married, first and foremost, because this may be a topic women are very confused on. Yes, the wedding day has always been traditionally her day, right? This is the moment she's been dreaming of. This is the thing that makes her very happy. This is her day. Not to be spoiled, not to be ruined, right? What with the man? See, a man agreed to this. He wanted to get married. He had proposed to her. See, they misunderstand his feelings. They neglect him entirely. So, you don't think some boys were dreaming about the day that they would get married. They would have a wife of their own. See, marriage is a team work environment. But in order for it to be a very well-rounded and well-balanced work environment, both have to respect each other as a husband and wife. They have to learn to work together, coexist. And in many cases, that doesn't happen. It's one or the other. On one hand, you got happy wife, happy life. On the other hand, you have something that's a little bit different. And that is, if the man puts down boundaries, if the man puts down things that he once followed, it's abuse. So, let's clarify something. A woman puts down laws, rules, boundaries. It's acceptable, it's okay. A man puts down laws, rules, or boundaries, and it's now abusive, overly controlling, it's this, it's that, it's whatever. No. So why get married? It's a commitment you make for each other, to each other. It is not for third parties to interfere with. Women will try to invite their friends into their marriage. How? Oh, well, they like to gossip. Well, this is what my husband's doing. This is what it drives me nuts. Totally fine. That's normal. All right? You need people to talk to because you're both going to drive each other nuts. That's fine. But when the girlfriends give the girl advice, this is when it gets very difficult. Because it's not about constructive criticism. It's not about advice where this is how you could make it work. It's simply, well, you need to take more control. Make him do what you want. No. I'll tell you right now why that doesn't work. He married you for who you are. He loves you for who you are and how you treat him. You change that, he can play the same game. Even playing field. That's what you agreed on. Now, if you're in a biblical marriage, things are a little bit different. Because he didn't make the rules. God did. And the Bible says to submit to your husband the way that he submits to God. The Bible says that he is supposed to treat his wife the way Jesus treats the church. And the way that Jesus treats the church, love, cherish, compassion, but also, Jesus also chastised the church, which means he has the right to correct you. He has the right to help you. Pride is a problem for Christians. They're not to be prideful people. A Christian woman has a different value set than a Christian man. That doesn't mean that their values are different. What it means is they have different roles to play. They're both equally valued in God's eyes. They're both his children. But the man is in charge. The woman leads and follows out of love and respect. So a man gets married, if he's a Christian, a man gets married for the love, help, support, and emotional, not stability, but emotional support when he needs it. From a woman who's supposed to be nurturing, loving, and very much secure in who she is, that she's not going to let him boss her around or take advantage of her. They get married because they love each other and they want to make it work. She accepts him and he accepts her. And they're going to grow and change together. Marriages typically fall apart because one or both are selfish. There's no I in team. Selfishness does not work in a marriage, and it doesn't matter what kind of marriage you have. Marriage is a sacred thing with sacred vows that only you two are supposed to hold each other to. It needs to be balanced. If there's no balance, it falls apart. Of course, women believe that man only wants one thing. Well, here's the sad truth, ladies. These days, women want only one thing, too. Difference is, a Christian man, a man of higher caliber, is going to want that one thing with that one woman. Meanwhile, these other ladies out here who aren't ladylike and are not women of a higher caliber, they want that one thing from everybody. And guess what? Some men do too. But it's funny. It's really funny. Here's the double standard. I want to make this very clear. The double standard. Women used to look down upon other women for being of that variety that slept around, right? It was shameful. Bad behavior. Women didn't respect that. Men didn't respect that. That's why they were with these kind of women. Women would see a man that everybody wanted. I should want him too, because everybody wants him. But other women, they didn't like men like that. If a man was sleeping around, they didn't like that behavior either. Some. Majority, they wanted him too. Guys don't look at it as, hey man, that girl sleeps with everybody. They see that as not a challenge, but an easy win. So there's no respect there. You don't get respect from men by being easily accessible. No. The women that say no and play hard to get, or even the ones that aren't playing, they just don't have interest, those are the challenges men go for. But I'll tell you something here. It is both admirable and shameful in the same way, because it's all about intention. If the intention is to strictly sleep with her, shameful. If the intention is to get to know her and be with her because she's picky and because she knows what she wants, respectable. And vice versa. The issue you're going to run into is the men that only want to sleep with the girl is going to lie. Oh, he'll lie. And then he'll tarnish the reputation of all men because he wants what he wants. Selfish, bad, shameful behavior. Women do the same thing. Difference was, it wasn't a common practice for women until these days. So why get married? You get married because you're both supposed to be committed to each other and nobody else. This is to avoid all this chaos and problems with sleeping around with people that you barely know. The marriage is supposed to be sacred. It's supposed to be of trust, value, love, respect, and boundaries. That's a healthy marriage. An unhealthy marriage is, well, an open marriage. So why would a man get married? Well, ladies, listen. Not to sound sexist, but let me just paint you a picture. A man gets married because he realizes the kind of job he took and how difficult it's going to be on his body and on him mentally, emotionally. It's straining. Okay, it's very, very draining, and it can cause strain on the spirit, right? He wants to come home from a long day of work, to a happy, loving wife who greets him at the door, hugs him, holds him, welcomes him home, takes off his jacket, helps him out, right? Basically, what this is, it's a symbolism of her removing the workwear, making him more comfortable at home. And she is grateful that he provides because she has all of this space to occupy. She has a house, roof over her head. All she has to do is make this into a home for him and her. Maybe cook a few meals. You know, on his days off, relaxing is important. But if he feels the need to reward you with a spa treatment or a spa day, or hey, even doing the dishes with you or for you, or making a meal, whatever, the important thing is you're doing it together. And yes, a man gets married because, well, he needs a wife. He knows he needs a wife. He's accomplished everything else, and now he needs a wife. Part of life. It's just the way it works. When you accomplish things and you get your career going, now you need a wife. You need a companion, a partner to fill an empty void in your life. So you get married. You come home from a long day's work. She greets you. She loves you. Whatever. Maybe there's a hot meal waiting for you. Maybe there isn't. Maybe that's later. But regardless, she shows that she loves and appreciates the man who sacrifices his time away from her to make money so they can both live and survive and provide for each other. Man comes home drained from a long day of dealing with lots, I mean lots of BS, right? And he goes through that door, and there she is to rejuvenate that spirit that work is breaking, right? That's another reason why we get married. Then, for you women out there who want to say that, well, that's shameful, a woman should not be cooking, should not be expected to cook or make meals. Okay. Let's switch it. Let's say you're the one working and he's at home. Would you accept coming home to no food on the table, to nothing at all, no meals prepared? You're starving, you're hungry. We all know how you women get when you're hungry, so explain this to me. You don't think you'd be a little upset, a little mad that he didn't make food? You're not going to say, what did you do all day? You know I'm coming home. You know I'm going to be hungry. Give me a break. It's human nature. We are all going to want to eat. We all need food to survive. Who in their right mind would not want a nice home-cooked meal by the time they get home? It makes sense, right? Especially if you're a partner. If this is your partnership, if this is your relationship, don't you want to see it thrive? I guarantee people don't get married just to have their marriage on life support for eternity. So, why get married? You get married because it's fun. The adventure of marriage. Learning about your partner. You get married because, why not? You trust her to sleep around. You trust him not to sleep around. You go to each other for things because you need each other. That's the commitment. These days, people have tainted what marriage is supposed to be about, and I want to tell you, get married. I'm not married. So I don't have a nagging wife, and I don't have the struggles that most people have with their spouse. I'm happily single. I'm enjoying the single life. But, yeah, Yes, I would love a wife. You know why? Because I have pain everywhere. As of right now, from the injuries, I would love a nice back massage. I would love a nice, soothing, relaxing massage. But sadly, as most of you know, I'm the only one capable of doing such things. I've read books on them, I've learned techniques from doctors and massage therapists, not massage therapists, physical therapists that do massages. I've learned methods and I've applied them. When my family gets hurt, my family needs it. But when I get hurt, I don't have anybody. So, yeah, having a woman for that would mean a lot. It would mean a lot. Having a woman help me de-stress, ooh, that would be great. As you know, martial arts puts a lot of heavy strain on the body. And so martial artists, they have a lot of issues with certain things. Which is why peak condition is very important. Keeping in shape, always stretching, always working on their bodies. Kind of like bodybuilding, but it's a little bit different because they're using every muscle in their body. They're using every part of their body to strengthen it. We're talking ligaments, joints, everything. They're strengthening everything. That's what martial arts does. Bodybuilding, not so much. So, I would love a wife to cook for. I love a wife to romance and to write poetry for. You bet. I'd love it. To be inspired by a woman again. Oh my goodness, I'd love it. But the time will come. The time will come. As I said before, it is important to pick a partner and find somebody that understands your lifestyle and complements your lifestyle. Why men don't get married. Okay. Men don't get married to get into constant fights, especially when they just get home. Men don't get married to have frivolous arguments that don't make any sense to them. Men are logical people, typically. So you marry someone that's logical, you marry somebody that's good at fixing things, what have you. Causing him stress in the home causes stress in your marriage. Because when there's things around the house that you want done, he just may not do them. Why? Well, you're not treating him the best. You're not treating him like a wife right now. You're treating him like a boss. And how do men treat bosses at work? Their productivity goes down. Because, hey, they may hate their boss. But guess what? They didn't choose their boss. No, sir. They chose you. Which means now they're reflecting upon their choices. This is not the woman I married. I married someone because I loved her. She was beautiful, great personality. She treated me so well while we were dating. I thought she was the one, and now she's treating me like she owns me. No. Does not work. It does not work. And vice versa, it does not work. No. As a man, yes, of course, I like a woman who is, well, lack of a better word, submissive. However, that submission does not come out of, I told you to be submissive. No. It comes out of respect, love, and cherishing that person so much that you want to be respectful to them and submissive for them. Remember, the woman also picks her husband, which means don't betray her trust. Don't take advantage of her. And women, same goes for you. So that's why you don't get married. You don't get married because you feel it's the next step in your life. You feel like it's necessary. You don't get married to the person that you're infatuated with. I think the best advice my dad gave me about dating was this. Just because you love her doesn't mean you should marry her. And that holds true today. It is easy to love somebody. Hear me out. It is easy to love somebody. It is harder to live with that same person as if you still love them the same way. Because things are going to test that love. Oh, it will. And you need to decide if you can still love them the same way forever. That's what marriage is. I will love you and treat you this way forever. I will never fall out of love of you because I love you too much. So, what women need to start doing is come up with categories of why would you love a man? What are things you love about a man? Start there. Guys, same thing, and I'll say this to both sides because both sides do this now. When writing this list, make it in good taste. Don't be children. Don't be immature, and don't be gross. Actually take it seriously. So, the sexual aspect of marriage comes later because you first have to get there. A lot of people get married just to have sex. Disaster follows with that. Because if that's the only reason for marriage, you don't have what it takes to keep it. Because that will die. Eventually. For some people, it dies when kids come in the picture. For others, it dies even sooner than that. Now, getting married and throwing kids in the mix. This is where things get a little bit more complicated. Because you're not just now dealing with each other's personalities. You're now dealing with new ones. And the two of you have got to make it work. Because kids will try to divide both of you. For example, they'll go to mom. Dad said I can do this. They'll go to dad. Mom said I could do this. They play the game. So, both of you need to be united in how you parent, united in both of your decisions, and you have to agree on how to parent. If you're considering marriage, you need to have a conversation about parenting styles. That's very important. To learn about your partner. For example, she may be a fantastic wife, oh my goodness, and a great girlfriend, but if she's not a very good mother, there's room for improvement if she chooses. Same with guys. Let's say he's a fantastic husband. Let's say he's a fantastic boyfriend, but being a father, room for improvement if he so chooses. I've watched my dad and my grandfather. I'm the oldest of 4 boys. I've helped raise children. I was even helping out in the church's daycare, taking care of kids when I was 17. 14. Yeah, 14. I wasn't 17 yet. Point is, I have experience with children. I love kids. I want my own someday. And I know right now, I've met so many women who are so scared of being moms. They don't think they're going to make great moms. They're hard on themselves for a reason. You know what? Maybe it's valid. Maybe it's not. Ask them why. Talk to them about it. Help them figure out why they feel that way. Now, yeah, the easiest way is, I think you're going to be a great mom. Why? Well, you're not there yet. My mother told me this. She says they can say that all they want. They have their own kid. The motherly instincts may kick in. And then they're going to be great moms. Very possible. Very possible. Hard to say, though, in these times. But, yeah, I'd agree with that. So, a man wants peace in his home, but he doesn't want it to be empty. That's why he gets married. To have a companion to grow old with. Someone to love and who will love him back. If that's not the reason he's getting married, he may be doing it for all the wrong reasons. Just a heads up. Now, I'll tell you something, though. As tough as I am and as mean as I can be, I'm also a lot more sensitive than most guys are out there. I'm not a sensitive guy, though. I hate that. No. I'm very bluntly honest. I'm very true to myself. But if I see that it may not be the time or place for it, then I can hold my tongue. I can be the comfort you need. You bet. In relationships, though, I will tell you this. The girl I'm thinking of, the girl that left the biggest impact on me, she and I are a lot alike. I felt that might have been a bad thing. Mostly because at that age, I didn't believe that two dominant personalities could coexist and live in harmony. But now I'm 27, soon to be 28 next month. And I'm thinking, no, they absolutely could live in harmony. Through love, respect, devotion, and boundaries. They could do it. They could 100% do it. It would also probably take a lot of compromising, but it's doable. It's very, very much doable. Another thing about marriage that I've learned through watching in one book is communication and negotiations. Now, yes, every man has this fantasy of, well, I'm the man and I say so, therefore it is. To some women, that may work. Not all. So what happens if you face a woman that says, oh, hell no? Well, you picked a fight, my friend. For that one, you gotta work it out. Non-aggressively. Misunderstandings will also happen. You gotta work on that to make sure you both understand each other's perspectives and what you both meant. I give marriage analogies often, especially when I was a pastor. I did a lot. But this one is probably my favorite that I came up with. Every man will agree with me on this one. Real men, they'll agree. Telling your woman to go make you a sandwich, and she does it. There is no greater power that we feel than having that one done. It's a win for us, right? We feel like we have the authority. And if done correctly, it can be done. But I'll tell you this. Women, you want a man to respect you? Here's a secret for you. So here's what's going to happen. Let's say he tells you, and you're married, you're dating, whatever, doesn't matter. Let's say he tells you to make him a sandwich, right? He tells you, make me a sandwich. And it's not a very nice, polite manner that you may be used to if you've done it before. But he tells you. He's very rude. He may even throw in some words, some choice words that I can't say on here. Do it anyway. Do it anyway. Take the time. Make him the best sandwich you ever have. You bring it to him nicely, hand it to him, and then you tell him, I did this because I love you. Don't ever talk to me that way again, or this will be the last sandwich you ever get. You see, a woman should take pride in her work, and nothing sends a clearer message than that one. Killing them with kindness to a degree like that should work. If it doesn't work, he doesn't have a soul. You are with a psycho. That should resonate. Don't let him walk all over you. He has to ask, or he has to tell you what he wants in a way that's not degrading or demeaning. It can be playful. That's fine. If it's a playful action, then yeah, by all means, play back. But I'm talking about if it's a very different tone. One that you're not accustomed to, one that doesn't sit well with you, that you're not comfortable with. Do that. See what happens. Based off his response, you can understand the result of this relationship. You'll test it out better. You'll get a feel for how he really is. So, that's something to consider. I love that one because it shows the commitment without the hassle, without the argument. They are both equals. One does something that maybe she's done for a while. He does it out of respect and love for him, and then tells him, you're going to respect me. And it's not malicious. It's not an argumentative thing. It is simply showing spine in a very respectful manner. And that one has gotten the best results. People love that analogy. They love me talking about it. I've got nothing but good responses on that. And I thought of that because it's how my brother would treat me. I was a nice older brother. My brother was a jerk. And he would cause problems every day with me. Then later on, he'd ask me, can I have a glass of water with, can I get a glass, I need water, can I get a glass of water? And I'd say, sure. And I kept thinking, what would Jesus do? So I got him the glass of water with ice. Was he grateful? No. He said thank you, but he made comments after that were not very good. I was hoping that the example I was setting would sink in, and it didn't until our adult years. But let me tell you something. I always knew I did the right thing. And I hated killing people with kindness. Oh, I despised it. I felt it was wussy. It was just not manly, right? But at that moment, I knew what kind of example I wanted to set. What kind of standard I wanted to set. Because throughout our entire lives, I could then say, this is what I did for you. This is how you treated me. You didn't deserve it. I wanted to always be able to pull the moral high ground card on him. I can do that to this day. Because this is the brother that would say, I'm not your slave whenever you asked him to do something for you. So I got firsthand of what an argumentative marriage would look like. No. My relationship with girls has been this. If a girl flew off the handle, yelling, whatever, not happy, and threw a fit, you know, I wouldn't be upset. I'd listen. And I'd hear her out, find out why she's so upset, and I think about what her day consisted of. What could the buildup have been as I'm listening? I'll tell you something. It doesn't work for everyone. Every girl's different in this regard. But if you hug them while they're talking, and you just tell them, I love you, and I'm sorry you're upset. I feel bad that you're this upset. If it's your fault, then you just tell them, I will work on not making you this upset in the future. I'm sorry. Nothing ends it quicker than that. Have I done it yet? No. Why? The girl didn't deserve it. I'll tell you something, though. I did test that. And do you know what I got in responses? Girls feeling so flustered they couldn't utter a response. They just said, that would work, but only for a few times. We'll see. Comfort beats argumentative every time. I'll tell you something else. In the Bible it says, I forget the verse, I forget the wording, but basically, a soft response will turn away wrath. It's in the Bible. I never saw that working. Didn't see it, because in life, things only escalate. They don't de-escalate, right? But then, as I got older, and I was like 17 when I figured that out, 16, 17 when I figured that method out, then I realized something. That applies. It does. It works. It doesn't work for everybody, and it doesn't work for all men. But it does work for certain women. It does. So, that's what I found out. And I thought, I know a secret. See, because I have studied and learned about women for a very, very long time. So I'll tell you, if I can't figure it out, I don't know if anybody can. I need to go to somebody who has spent more time with women than I have. And I may even ask for help online. But the point is, if you're struggling with relationships and you're struggling with this part in the marriage, whatever relationship, do this. Try this method out. Couldn't hurt. Right now, a lot of people are giving out advices right now on marriage, parenting, or even dating. And I'll tell you something. Some of them are good. Some are very good. Other ones, they're too one-sided. Ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work because you are trying to make a predetermined script on how he's gonna respond. I don't do that. I don't do that at all. I give you both sides, and I give you how things should play out. If they don't, then that means this. But what I give you is what responses you're looking for. Healthy and not healthy, all right? And then you look at the pros and cons. You find the results. I believe in getting results, which is why testing is so important. Running tests in your relationship, it happens all the time. But they do it so poorly. Have you seen these ones? I've seen these ones in the car, asking if you love me if I was this or that. Don't do those. Those are horrible ones. bad. There's no right answer, because guess what? If we flip that around, it would be a horrible answer from you too. So don't even dare with this one. No. Bad, bad, bad. All the way around. Bad. Don't do it. Have fun. Be flirtatious. Be fun-loving. What I will tell you right now, one of the most frustrating things about women today, they can't tell the difference between flirtatious and creepy. They can't tell the difference between something being playful and something being sexist. They can't tell the difference. They can't. And I blame this generation. Gen X can, and some millennials can too. I'm a later Gen Z, or earlier Gen Z, all right? 98, okay? So I don't fit in with a lot of these kind of people, but I understand common sense, and I was raised by Gen X, and I was raised by my grandparents, so I understand a lot more than most people do. So when it comes to this stuff, you're looking for a woman that benefits you, balances things out, and vice versa. If they don't, there's no point. There isn't. This is one of those things where don't make a bad investment. You're both gonna grow and learn together as a team. But the blind can't lead the blind. So if you're both blind, you're both broken, bad things are gonna happen. If one of you is broken and the other one isn't, well, uphill battle both ways. I'll tell you that. If you're both not broken, if you're both okay, you both use common sense, you have a fighting chance. And it's a good one. So, this is going to come down to combinations. If you fit, if you don't fit. If you're good match, not good match. What's my favorite term for this? Oh yeah, biblically speaking, equally yoked. That's what I'm looking for. Equally yoked. That's who you marry. You marry the one that's equally yoked to you. If they're not equally yoked, then you got a problem. And yeah, you're not supposed to marry non-believers either, but that could change. But you're banking on a possibility, not a guarantee. So it's going to be kind of frustrating. But if she respects you or he respects your belief system, then hopefully it works out. Again, it's difficult. Relationships are tricky, but what matters is you love each other and you make it work anyway. Just make sure that the love for you both is not infatuation. Do not get those confused. So yeah, otherwise that's a pretty good video. I'm happy with this one. I like where this one went. So yes, why get married? Because it's a beautiful, wonderful thing that God created that has been abused by many, many, many people. There's a right way and a wrong way to get married. Make sure it's the right way and for the right reasons. Otherwise, you may have some regrets you cannot undo. It's a very serious thing. Which is why it's important you are careful with who you date, careful with who you marry, and you get the right one the first time. Dating teaches us what we're looking for. Dating teaches us to be mindful of red flags and to find the one you're looking for. And you know what I'm looking for? Has to fit my lifestyle and has to be able to balance things. I like a woman that's rock and roll, heavy metal kind of chick, you know. I'd say leather, studs, that kind of stuff, attitude to match. I love it. But I also want one that can become a lady and like that, you know. Because that can be a gentleman in both parts. But I would love to have a woman who can wear a dress and shuck the dance floor, you know. I would love that. So I want one of both variety. It's difficult, hard to find. Personality, playful, you know, submissive, but just respectful all the way around. You know what I mean? Maybe a girl that's into martial arts too gets it, understands it. And, my fantasy, one of my things I'd love to have happen is while I'm training and I'm practicing, she comes in with a meal, or a snack or something, giving me the inclination that it's time for a break. And we'll sit, we'll eat, and we'll talk. That's what I want. One that understands that perspective. And I don't know if it'll happen. It's a different kind of woman, I'll tell you. But also, I wouldn't mind one that trains with me. The bonding time. It'd be great. I don't know if that one exists, though. I'm still looking. For me personally, I was against social media, and I didn't want any girl I was dating or married to later on to make posts about me. Not because I'm insecure, but because I didn't want people saying that she was lying, that a guy like me doesn't exist. It's very difficult because people on the internet or people in general would say that people like my dad and I don't exist. We do. Yeah, we do. There's no footage of what we can do, but if a circumstance arises, we're prepared for it. We'll do it. Unfortunately, right now we're both injured and we're both hurting a lot and trading chores and trading off meals. That's our chore, basically. I do dishes and dinner, but yeah, it's one of those things where, out of jealousy and spite, people say that we don't exist. We sure do. People like us exist, and so do cowboys. They still exist. There's just not very many of them anymore. But that's what I got of why you should get married. It's a very beautiful thing. With the right people in mind, it could be a very beautiful thing. Now, this one may get a comment or two about am I for same-sex marriage? And I'll tell you this, it's not for me. I'm not going to be the one to tell you what you can and can't do or who you should and shouldn't love, but I will tell you this. As a pastor's perspective, in God's eyes, no. It's not the intended use of marriage. Marriage is between a man and a woman. That's how God designed it. But I will tell you this. Christians are supposed to love the sinner, hate the sin. Many don't do that, I'm sorry. So if you feel that you've been judged for loving someone of the same gender, and to the point where you feel that you need to get the operation or the hormones to change or whatever, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't wreck your body. Don't wreck your body just so that somebody would accept you. Don't do that. There is a greater being, a creator who loves you and knew you before you were born. Do not destroy his creation if you believe in that. Do not taint what is already good. If you love that person and you want to sleep with that person, that is your choice. But do not make up excuses and say that God made you that way. He didn't. The free will you have and the way that you choose to live your life, those are your choices. Your body may feel more alive or may feel more in love for that person. That's normal. For you, it's normal. I'm not going to tell you how you should feel. I'm not going to tell you what you should or shouldn't do. That's not my place. And it's nobody else's place. The only people that can give you advice on that and talk to you about it is your pastor, your parents, and your relationship with God. Those are the three that can weigh in on that. Nobody else. Those are the three you should care about. A lot of people right now are suffering with this, and they are confused, and they are searching for answers or someone to talk to about it. It's not going to hurt them and shut them down. I know this because I've been seeing it. It breaks their heart. And I'll tell you something, you're not alone. It makes God very unhappy that people treat you the way they do, when they should be loving and compassionate to you. For some people, they suffer with it. For others, it's blatant rebellion. And so there's no real feelings involved. They're hurt, and so they lash out. Others, they're hurt and they're crying. And they're confused and they don't know what to do. And, well, find the right people to talk to. They're out there. I know it. I know it's hard to hear, but you will get through it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. I'm going to tell you like it is. But I'll tell you my perspective first, every time. I don't have a stance on it. Does that mean I'm impartial? No. It's not for me. It's not the lifestyle I chose. Therefore, I cannot relate. But I'll tell you something. God still loves you. You're still his child. And he'll always love you no matter how damaged you get on this earth. The earth, the people in charge of it, they're the ones that did this to you. They got you confused. They got you to believe things that were not true. Sure, you could have did your own research, found the right people to talk to. Sure, you could have gone on your way to do all that. But let's be honest. Very few people do it these days. Some people just do what they're told. And then they suffer the consequences. So that's my stance on that for the comments that are going to come asking about same-sex marriage or changes and stuff for relationships. That's where I stand. That's what God would say. It's in the Bible. You can read it. I found passages on that. You can even ask Google where you could find passages on these certain topics, and it should tell you, and then you find your Bible and you read it. I don't read Google's translation on it. I find it through Google, and I get a Bible I trust, and I read it through that. So, if you're looking for answers, that's the quickest way to do it. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I really enjoyed doing this one. I got a lot more planned in the future. It's just that life's been really good and busy right now, so I didn't have the time to make a video for a month, and I apologize. But I will try to do better on that. Take care, and remember, marriage is worth it if it's done the correct way.